During last class, we were left with taking a deep dive into interpreting the help system. Today we are also going to see what are the different options available when you are looking for help. We have already seen how to update the help topics with and without internet. Uh, After finding the command and finding the help for the command, the next step that remains is analyzing the output. That will be taken care by understanding the structure of the data. Usually everything that you get as output of a PowerShell commandlet will be object. Today we are going to see what are the objects, how you can manipulate those objects, how you can discover what are the properties, methods and events and all different things which are associated with the output object. And once you find this, how do you filter out unwanted things from the output? How do you sort it? How do you select uh, the columns from the output? And what is the end state of an object? How PowerShell maintains the flow of the object, and finally when you render the output on screen, how that object will get converted into a plain text. So object lifecycle today we are going to see. Okay, let's start with taking a deep dive into the help topics. Okay, we have seen the basic syntax of the help. For example, when you say get help is the complete command. You can also call it as help, only help. It will give you the same results. After giving get help or help, you need to give the command name. For example, here I want the details about get service command. Now when you run this command without any parameters, it will show you this simpler version or the shorter version of the help topic, where you will see the name of the command. Synopsis means the uses, for what purpose this command is used, and if that command has multiple different syntaxes, or in this case it is called parameter sets. If that command has multiple parameter sets, it will show you all those parameter sets. So currently in this command, if you observe, get service can be used with name parameter. You can query for a service based on its name. You can query for the service based on its display name. Name and display name are two different things. Or you can go ahead and search for a service based on the service object itself. So here when you are using input object, you have to provide a service controller object. We will see how to do that. But when you are searching for a service based on the name or display name, you can directly type the plain string, the name or the display name of the service. So these are called parameter sets. And important thing that you should understand about these parameter sets is these parameter sets are mutually exclusive. At least one parameter in all these different parameter sets cannot go with the other unique parameter in the other parameter set. For example, here you cannot use hyphen name and hyphen display name together in the same command. You cannot mix and match. Or you cannot use display name and input object together, or input object and name together. So in this case, display name, input object and name, these parameters are mutually exclusive. You cannot include them in the same command. What will happen if you include them in the same command? No, you will get error. Like when I say get service hyphen name, let's go with display name. Background intelligent transfer service is the display name, and the name of that service is bits. So if I use both together, hyphen name, first thing that you should notice is it is no more showing hyphen name parameter in the IntelliSense, because that parameter is no more available once you use that mutually exclusive another parameter from a different parameter set. Now this is a very big clue or hint to the user that what he is trying to pick is not available for use. So here, if I wouldn't have given this hyphen display name, let's try again. If I wouldn't have given this hyphen display name, it is currently showing me name, display name, everything. But once you select name, now if you select name and say bits, now it will not show you display name in the IntelliSense. DIS, see, it is not there. This is a big hint or clue to the user that what he is trying to pick is not available for selection. So let's try and see what error you get. I will say display name, background intelligent transfer service, and name. I will forcefully type, though it is not showing it there. I will forcefully type name bits. You will run into errors, and the error says parameter set cannot be resolved using specified named parameters. Right? Parameter name cannot be resolved means PowerShell is not able to decide which parameter set to pick, because you are using the parameters which belongs to two different parameter sets, and it is not able to resolve the name of the parameter set. Now if you think deeper, you will understand why Microsoft or PowerShell is not allowing you to do so. Now think about this. Use the same command, since in this case we are using the display name and the name corresponding to the same service. But if you select a different service, like you are selecting the display name for background intelligent transfer service and you are selecting the name for Adobe ARM service. Now how PowerShell will understand actually which service you are trying to pick or which service you want to see the results, right? Because in the display name you are talking about some other service, and in the name you are talking about some other service. Whereas display name and name, if you are trying to fetch some services, display name and name are the properties, different properties of a single service object. So when you give different search criteria using two different properties, PowerShell will not be able to find any object which has these two properties. For example, in this case, PowerShell will not be able to find any service which is installed on your computer whose display name is background intelligent transfer service and where its name is Adobe ARM service, because it is not possible. But there are two different objects. One is this first service, background intelligent transfer service. This object will have a display name like this, but its name will be bits. You got it? Okay. So this is for obvious reason that you cannot mix and match the parameters from two different parameter sets. Now we were left with one thing that day, that is how do you get the service controller object to be provided as input, right? Now if you observe, this input object requires a service controller, and this service controller, it can accept multiple objects, right? That means you can pass multiple service controller objects here. Similar to, we were giving multiple names with get service. Get service hyphen name, you can give bits, comma, Adobe ARM, comma, WinRM. You can give multiple inputs because this string accepts an array. You remember we talked about this syntax. Wherever you see a pair of square brackets, that means you can provide multiple values there. Okay, let's try to create a service controller object. So in PowerShell, if you have to create any object, you have to create it by storing it in a variable. So I will create a variable in PowerShell. In order to create a variable, you can use $sign and give it a name. So here I will say app services. First see what will be the result of that command. When I say get service, hyphen name, where name starts with app star, all the services where name starts with app. So here, as you can see in the IntelliSense, there are 6 services. So it will show me the 6 services where the name starts with app. Now further, whatever it is, we are not bothered about the details of the services. We just need to store it in a single object. So what I will do is, the results of this command I want to store it in some object. So I will say $app servic app services is equal to, now this name can be anything. It can be your name, my name, or any XYZ, because we are declaring a variable. We are giving this name to the space in the memory. So in that memory location we are storing this result, the same result which is displayed here. Now here you can fetch for a single service also. If you want, you can go for multiple services by giving this wildcard characters. Now hit enter. This time you will not see the output because the output has been redirected or stored in this variable. Now if you give the name of this variable app services, hit enter, now you will see the output. Now if you, again in the next chapter we are going to see object exploration in detail, but for now, how do you find out what type of object it is? You can give this variable name dot get type. Variable name dot get type will fetch you what type of object it is. It is an array. It is, as we have discussed earlier, it is storing multiple service controller objects. Now this is the object type of this complete collection or this array, but in this array there are individual single entities, multiple items. So currently there are 6 items stored in this, right? Now how do you identify what is the type of every single object? So you can just put the index number in the square bracket. So in this square bracket, if you put the index starts with 0, so I want the type of the first element in this collection. Now see, and you will find that you are getting a service controller object. So far you're clear? Oh. That is the base type, but the object name or the data type of this object is service controller. We will see another way of finding the same, but for now just understand that this variable is containing 6 service controller objects, because we have got 1 2 3 4 5 6 results from the get service command, and those results are stored in this variable. So currently we have app services variable which has 6 items, out of which first item and the last item will be 5, index at index number 5, 0 1 2 3 4 5. So if you check the data type of whether you check it for the first element or last element, if you check the data type of last element, you will find it is same as the first element. 0 to 5 I don't think, because you can no you can check only for one, you will get error. No, yeah, it is showing. I did not try it earlier, but yeah, all are service controller objects. So now this means we can use this variable as input for the get service command. So how do you do that? You can say get service hyphen input object. Now if you see, after giving input object, you will not be able to see the name and display name in the IntelliSense. We'll see that in a while. Now say $app services. Now if you try to give hyphen name or display name, you will not see that in the IntelliSense, because those options are no more available, because when you select this input object, it is selecting the third parameter set, and in third parameter set, name and display name parameters are not available. Hit enter, same results. Now there is a small difference between this $app services. Now when you give $app services, you will still be able to see the same results, but the results are slightly different when you make changes to the actual running instances of the services. So for example, here what I'm going to do is, this app info service, I will stop it. Okay, let us stop it. I will say get service app info, and I will say stop service. Okay, it has some dependencies, maybe for that reason. Okay, let's go ahead with the app host SVC. let's try to stop this. Okay, that service is stopped. Now give this command, get service input object app services, and see we have stopped this app. Which service we stop? App host svc. It is currently in stop state. Okay, now check the output of app services. Was that stopped already? No, it wasn't running. Yes. Okay, so it has updated the results here, but usually let's try it in a different way. Now I will give app services dot we will start that service. Now check the output. It is still showing stopped. No. I know the reason. No matter how long you wait, how many times you try, it will show you stopped. Because the real-time changes which you make to the actual running services will not update the results in this variable, because this variable is storing those details. It is not updating, or it is not in sync with whatever changes are happening in the real time data. Now if you say get service input object app services, now see it is showing you the updated status. Now it is showing running. That is the difference between looking at, this is called a snapshot, which is stored in the variable. That is the difference between the snapshot and the yes, you have to store the results again using the same command using which we have stored the results earlier. Okay, now if you store it again, check it, this time it will show you the updated results. Okay, now let's go back to the help topic. Get help, or this time we will use help. Help get service. Next thing that you will see is the description, the detailed description of this command, what it will do. If you want to find the related links, you will find all the links here, or it will also show you the commands which are related to this command, or any remarks. Now let's try to see what options do we have with the help command. With help command you can use -examples to see the examples about how to use this service. It will show you all different examples, only examples. See, you're still there? Yeah, suddenly it got muted, so I thought Yeah. So anytime if you lose the connection, just ping me or you can immediately call me. Usually what happens, this has happened with me several times. I keep on talking for 5 minutes, then suddenly I realized that the connection was dropped and nobody was there. I was talking to myself. Okay. So as you can see, when you give hyphen examples with the help command, when you use this parameter, you will see different examples. It will show you multiple examples if those are available about how to use this command. So that is the example parameter. Now let's check what other parameters are available. Then you have a parameter called online, which will take you to the online version of this commandlet. It will take you to the online help topic. It will directly open it from internet. You need internet connection to see the online version of this help topic. The same help topic will be available from the technet.microsoft.com page. So usually this is better because this will give you the latest updated version of the help topic, which is the most updated one. If you have not updated your help topics locally, then this is another way you can see the latest or updated version of the help topic. Okay. There are many other parameters, but most frequently used parameters we will take. Then you have the option to see full help. Now what is the difference between the normal help command and this full help? When you give full, you will see that for the same help topic, very detailed and granular level help details will be available. Now in this was already there when you see the basic thing, but there is very important part which will get added here, that is the parameter details. For every single parameter, it will show you what type of input is required or why that parameter is there. It will show very detailed and granular level details for each and every single parameter. Now out of this section is very important. This tells you whether the parameter that is there, it is required, means it is mandatory or not. So in this case, computer name parameter is not mandatory. If it would have been mandatory, the required will be true. So on the second day, we have talked about the positional parameter, right? We were running the commandlet for get WMI object, and we have given win32 underscore logical disk. So that was a positional parameter. But if it is not positional, you have to give the parameter name. You cannot give the value for that parameter without giving the parameter name if it is a name parameter. When it is positional, it will show you some number here. So at that position, whatever value you provide, that value will be used for that parameter. So let's take example where positional parameter is available. So that example will be the same. Get WMI object. We will say get help, get WMI object. We will see the full help. Now this time, let's scroll back. Look at this. This commandlet has so many different parameter sets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different parameter sets. Now there will be minimum one thing which is different than the other parameter set. There will be at least one parameter in each parameter set which is not present in other parameter set. But there will be few parameters which are common. Like this computer name, you will find it is everywhere. Every parameter set will have computer name. Now it is very difficult to find what is the difference, but that thing is for sure that every parameter set has some unique features which are not available in other parameter set. I think, look at this. In this parameter set you don't see the class parameter. It is not there. Even in this it is not there, but there is something which is available in this parameter set but not remaining parameter sets. So instead of running into that, let's focus on the parameter sets. So let's see which is the positional parameter here. Class is the positional parameter. So let's take a look at class. See, since class is a positional parameter, while using this command, whatever value you provide after the command name at position 1 will be used as a value for class parameter. That day we have seen when you are running get WMI object without giving hyphen class, if you directly give win32 underscore logical disk, it will assume that you are talking about the class parameter, right? Now there was another parameter called properties, which was also a positional parameter. See here, property. So whatever value you provide at position number 2 will be considered the input for the property parameter. Then you have default value. Now what is this default value? Wherever if you see there is any value specified for default value, that is talking about if you don't provide any value for this parameter, it will assume some value which is specified as a default value. But currently in this example there is no parameter which has any default value. Everywhere it is mentioned as none. Let us see if we can find one. No, every parameter has a default value as none. Means when you are using that parameter name, it is mandatory for you to provide the value also. Got it? Now accept pipeline input. We will talk more about this fourth feature of the parameter in detail when we will talk about the pipeline. But for now, just understand whichever parameter has accept pipeline input set to true only that parameter can get values from the previous command in the pipeline. Only the parameter where accept pipeline input is set to true, only those parameters can accept values from the pipeline coming from the previous command. But in this case, there are no parameters which are accepting value from the pipeline. But if you look at the get service commandlet, the help for the get service commandlet, you will find that there are several parameters which can accept value from the pipeline. Just take a look at this. Here the name, hyphen name and hyphen display name, these parameters must be accepting. See here, input object can accept value from pipeline. Now we will talk about this, what is by value and other options, by property name. See here, computer name can also accept value from pipeline. Display name does not accept value from pipeline, but name accepts value from pipeline by value and by property name both. We will see what is by value and by property name. But wherever it is mentioned that this parameter can accept value from pipeline, only that parameter can read the values from the previous command. Now what does that mean? Let me show you one example. Here I will say win rm comma bits. So I am giving two comma separated strings. When I hit enter, it will show me the output in two different lines. Means these are two different values. Now if I supply these values or let these values flow in the pipeline, these values can be consumed by the command which I am supplying in the pipeline. So in this case I will just say get service. Now just now we have seen the name parameter can accept value from the pipeline by value and by property name, right? So here I don't need to give hyphen name in order to force it to read values which are coming. I can simply give the values, pipe symbol and the command name, and it will automatically link the values which are coming from the pipeline to the corresponding parameter. So it will first show the services like this. It will first show all the services, then it will show you these two results. It cannot consume the items in the pipeline in the reverse order. Pipeline direction is from left to right. Whatever output will be produced by first command, the command on the left hand side, it will be given as input for the command on the right hand side, and it is one way only. Now if I give the same here, copy and paste here, first of all it will give you this error, expressions are only allowed as the first element of the pipeline. Right? So if you have to show these two things as output, you have to use out host, oh sorry, write output command. But the problem is, whatever outputs which will come from this first command, it will also try to consume those outputs, and it won't be able to understand how to deal with these multiple things together. It might give some error. See, pipeline works only in one direction, and this is the correct way. So what is going on here? These two values, when you give it without this get service, you are getting these two outputs. So what it will do, it will take every single item at a time and give it to the get service commandlet. Now in get service commandlet, as we have seen in the help, the name parameter will take care of these two inputs. The name parameter will adopt this input. Name parameter will think that this value is came for me, and it will try to use it. Now what happens when you give this command like get service hyphen name winrm comma bits? It will show you the same results, but instead of giving the values here, we are supplying those values in the pipeline like this, and automatically this name parameter will pick these two values which are coming from the pipeline. Got it? Or is it still confusing? So when we will see the pipeline in more details, then you will understand how this works. So let's take a look at the help again. So here, if you take a closer look at the parameters once again, it will tell you how this is internally working. So computer name can accept the value from the pipeline, but it will accept the value from the pipeline only by property name. So it has to be by value. So in this case, name is something which is expecting a string by value. That's why it is linked to the name parameter. And again, remember, for getting the details of a service, you can say get service winrm, get service whatever is the service name. You don't need to use the name parameter, because name parameter is again a positional parameter. Whatever value you supply at position number 1, it will consider it as the value for this parameter. We have seen what is required, what is position, what is default value, what is pipeline input. Now what is this wildcard characters? Means the parameter will accept the wildcard characters for searching the values. Wherever accept wildcard characters is set to true, that parameter can accept wildcard characters. Let's see the next thing, that is show window. Now this is very beautiful feature with the help command. Now if you remember, for every single instance when we are running this command with hyphen full or normally also, you need to scroll the screen and look for the values, right? You need to use the scroll bar, and sometimes it is difficult to identify where that output is starting, because you will have some old output values already there on screen. So the best way to take a look at the help topic is show window. Now in this case you can say get help, get service hyphen show window. So it will show the output of this help topic in a new window, which you can minimize. There is no output on screen here. The output will be shown in a separate window, which you can minimize, maximize, resize. Here you can scroll easily. It is easy for you to navigate. Another good thing here is you can select what portions of the output you want to see. Suppose you want to see only the examples, you don't want to see this input output notes and other things. You can click on this settings, remove these other things, and just keep examples. It will show you only examples. If you want to see parameters, select parameters. See here. Okay, parameters is not included for this help topic. Select synopsis, it will add synopsis there. And this all depends on the whatever is available from the help which you have downloaded. If those things are available in that, only then it will show it. So currently I have selected everything, and you will see this. Got it? So always try to use help with this show window. It will keep your PowerShell console free, and you don't need to scroll back and forth. Yes, for this command I have used this. I can minimize this, and I will use get WMI object. It will show a different window for this. See here, one more window is there. Okay, now looking at the PowerShell help topics, when you just give get help and don't supply any values, or when you just give help and don't supply any values or any parameters, it will show you all the help topics which are available on your computer. Sorry, it will show you the help for the get help command when you don't provide any values. But if you want to see what all help topics are available, you can just say get help star. It will show you all different help topics which are available. So there is a huge list, because on my computer I have somewhere around 5000 commands. Let me cancel this. Now how do you pick the help topic? See, this first column is the help topics column. Get help, you can just copy this, for example, and paste it here. I will say show window. So it will show me the help topic for this thing. Now similar to this, these are all the help topics for different commands, but there are help topics which are not for a particular command. Those help topics are the general guidelines or some theory part. For example, when you say get help, all those help topics starts with about underscore, which are related to the theory. Now suppose you want to learn about the variables, or if you want to learn about the for each loop or do while loop, these are all conceptual topics. Sorry? Yes. Anything, any help topic which starts with about underscore, you can see the theory about something. So to find all the help topics which are related to theory, you can give get help about underscore star. It will show you all the about help topics or conceptual help topics. Now it is updating the help. No, no, it will not show this kind of output in show window. It will show the output of in show window only when you select a particular help topic. Now it is trying to see for any updates, if there are any help updates. But once that list appears, I will give you some topics which you can go through offline after this class is over. Okay, now it is moving. Okay, so see here about aliases, about arithmetic operators. These all about topics will give you some insights about a particular concept. For example, if you want to understand how for loop works, you can just go for get help about for. So let's pick any one of these. Get help about, let us say, aliases. Now tab completion works here. You can just give about underscore ali tab, it will automatically complete it. Now you can see it in a window, show window. Now this is very good or a quality theoretical part where you can understand that topic in very detail, and these are very nicely written help topics which will give you a complete insight about whatever concept you have chosen. For example, here we are talking about aliases, so it will give you all different examples, all different commands which are available to deal with aliases, how alias works, what are the aliases. So you can go through this. Whenever we will plan for any new topic, usually I will give you these about topics related to that concept as a homework. You should go through it, because when you do it yourself, instead of I'm explaining you the theory, if you go through that theory part yourself, you will understand it better. And if you have any questions, you can ask me those questions. But unless you go through it, it will be difficult for you to remember everything. When you read something, it will put more impact on your brain. Okay, so this is all about using help in PowerShell. If you want to learn more about this, you can just say get help, and you can give show window. It will give you some more examples, some more details about how help can be used. So this you can take as a homework, going through this command, get help and get help. I will put this in the chat window so that you can refer to it later. So let's take a 10 minutes break, and we will come back at 9:20. Yeah, thank you.